Hi julle, welkom terug by Intiem. My naam is Liesel van der Merwe en saam met my is Madz Deyzel.
Hi everybody.
So Madz is 100% Engels. Sê iets in Afrikaans, Madz.
Goeiemôre. Goeie aand.
As jy nou die eerste keer inskakel, ons het 'n reeks van 4 video's en ons praat oor wholeness. Vir jou as mens, hoe dit sal voel as jy regtig heel voel. As jy nie voel jou behoeftes word nie bevredig nie. As jy opstaan in die oggend en dink, ek voel lekker. Hoe sal dit voel? En as jou huwelik so kan voel. So ons unpack al hierdie goeders, wholeness, emotional wholeness, spiritual wholeness. Wat 'n rol speel my man, my vrou in hierdie reis? Wat 'n rol speel die manier hoe ek groot geword het in die keuse van huweliksmaat? En in hierdie video gaan ons regtig prakties raak en sê, hoe kan ek kommunikeer wat ek nodig het? Die video is in Engels. So kyk asseblief saam met ons, maar weet net dat hierdie regtig jou lewe kan verander. Jy kan die wholeness course in die hande kry. So onder het ek vir jou 'n e-mailadres gelos van Madz. Jy moet in Engels skryf as jy vir briefies skryf.
Yes, please.
So en jy kan die wholeness course in die hande kry. Dit het ek en Nico dit saam gedoen, maar ek het ook 'n paar daarna vir myself weer gedoen, want ek het net besef dat ek moet verantwoordelikheid vat vir my eie reis en dit het vir my 'n ongelooflike impak gehad in die manier hoe ek dink, die manier hoe ek situasies nou interpreteer waar ek in die verlede altyd gesukkel het met iets. So wow. Kyk asseblief hierdie video en los vir ons 'n kommentaar om te sê wat het regtig vir jou uitgestaan. Welcome back to our channel. My name is Liesel van der Merwe. I'm with Madz Deyzel.
Hello.
And this is our 4th video in this series. We're talking about wholeness and the effect that will have on your marriage. And it has been life-changing for me.
Awesome.
And I know that you've worked with so many people over the last 13 years.
Yes. Yeah, so I believe in tools. I think people need practical tools that they can put into their lives every day. So I want to empower people with insights and tools that bring change.
So this is what you're going to get from this video. You're going to get impact, you're going to get change, you're going to get tools that will help you uncover this wholeness. In the previous videos, we asked the question, what is wholeness? We talked about needs.
Yes.
We talked about your experience with your primary caregiver while growing up. The effect that will have on your marriage. So please go watch those videos. And also I'm leaving Madz's email address for you down below. That's quite dangerous. She's brave. But you can get a hold of this wholeness course that she's written. And you can actually do it for yourself and as a couple.
Yes. 100%.
Would you encourage couples to do this?
I think it's great because we get deeper insights into each other when we journey together on things like this, for sure.
Alright, so today we're going to get practical.
Yes.
How do I communicate my needs?
Yes.
Who knows best what I need?
It's such a great question. So I've got 2 boys and they are often getting into scraps. And it's so easy to say to the one that was naughty, go say sorry to your brother. But what I'm doing is I'm forcing a certain type of behavior onto him and assuming that the other one needs an apology.
Yes.
Maybe the other one wants a hug and not an apology.
Yeah.
So the person who is injured, the person who is wounded, is the one who knows best what they need to heal. And so often we assume that we know what our partner needs to heal. If I've hurt or offended my partner, we assume that a sorry will fix it or that a hug will fix it.
Yes.
You know, if my husband and I are disconnected, he will automatically go into washing dishes mode because he knows that's my love language. But when I'm hurt, I need words. I don't need acts of service.
So when he does go and wash the dishes, does it help?
No, because I want to have a conversation.
Okay.
So we're complex is what I'm saying. And it's important that the person who is wounded is able to identify what they need to heal. Because we assume our spouse knows. And that's a big mistake that a lot of people make. We assume that our spouse knows how to fix what's going on inside of us or what I need if they've hurt me to get better. And so it's so important that we communicate. I need time with you right now to talk about what happened because that's going to help me heal.
Yes.
Or I need to just have a bit of fun and just not have a serious conversation, because
Yes.
that's actually going to help me heal. Or right now, I just need a hug, because that's going to help me heal. So everybody has different needs. Don't assume that there's a one size fits all.
If I feel like I'm hearing this and say I'm in a situation where I actually don't know what I need, I'm feeling hurt, I don't know what I need, can I go back to my primary needs of love and purpose and value to try and determine what my need is?
100%. And I think just even having some reflective space to go, what do I need to heal? And even if you need to say to your partner, I just need a bit of space so that I can reflect on what it is that I need from you in order to move forward.
Isn't that beautiful? To give yourself that grace, that you can reflect.
Yes.
Can my spouse play a part in this healing journey of mine?
100%. One of the things I say to spouses, even in the counseling room, you know, sometimes people come for counseling, they're married, and I'll say, bring your partner in. There's something powerful that happens when your partner has a deeper understanding of the wounds and injuries of your heart. Because then they have a better insight into the role they can play in your healing. You know, Lethal, for example, if you had a broken arm, okay, and you walked into the room and I came and I gave you a hug on your arm, you may react because you're in pain. But if you had to say to me before you walked in, hey Madz, I've just had operation on my shoulder.
Yes.
It's very tender. Please don't hug me. Rather, just give me a handshake. My understanding of your injury will shift how I behave around you because I'm wanting to care for your injury.
Yes.
Now, our hearts are no different, except we can't visually see the injuries. So we step into our spouse's lives, we accidentally step on injuries and wounds, we trigger and activate them. But because we have no idea of the wound there, we have no ability to be empathetic or to shift our behavior. We generally just react back.
Yes.
So one of the things I encourage spouses is to invite each other into your stories, especially your stories from your childhood. To invite each other into those stories we're telling ourselves. I grew up with a mom who was a little bit narcissistic in her personality, and there was elements of her behavior that when she was disconnected from me emotionally, she would give me the silent treatment. She would ignore me for weeks on end. And so my husband's tendency when he's stressed at work or whatever it is he sometimes goes into his turtle, into his shell. So he'll just shut down because he's trying to process stuff.
Yes.
But it triggers the injury of abandonment or neglect from my mom, of feeling unseen. Now, if he doesn't know that story, he's not going to understand what's being triggered inside of me. So he knows that story. So when he's going into his shutdown mode because he's processing work, whatever it is, I will say to him, hey love, I'm feeling a little bit triggered right now. That feeling of being unseen I experienced with my mom is being triggered right now because you're in shutdown work mode or whatever's going on inside of your world. Can you just say something to me that shows me that I'm still seen by you? Now, that's a healthy way of doing it. An unhealthy way would be to start nagging. You know, become like little yapping Jack Russells. Do you see me? Do you see me? Why are you ignoring me? And spouses do this because they don't know how to communicate. Yes. I think women are typical, what we call hailstormers, and men are typical turtlers. And so what we do is instead of communicating the need and the hurt, we react with the defense and the self-protect. It's the way I behave that's trying to protect myself from feeling further pain. But it actually doesn't help. Instead of just going, hey, you know my story, you know what triggers me, you know where those wounds are. You know those fears of being unseen, unvalued. I'm being triggered now. This is what I need from you. And so just inviting people into our stories, into our wounded spaces, can help our partner know what they need to do in terms of playing a role that can help our healing journey.
That makes a lot of sense. But okay, now I've got a question.
Yes.
Because I've done this wholeness course and I now know how to communicate my needs to you. So I'm saying to my husband, you know what, that you know my story, and he doesn't have the capacity
100%.
so now I'm getting more hurt because
Yes.
he's just rejecting me another time. So
Yes.
if he does not have the capacity or she does not have the capacity,
What do we do?
What do we do now?
Great question. So again, we need to go back and hold the tension of the lens that Scripture says we all fall short of God's glory. In other words, we're all fallen. Okay. So sometimes our spouses don't have capacity to give me what I need because of their own brokenness or their own woundedness.
Yes.
If my husband's in a car accident and he's in ICU, I cannot expect him to put a light bulb in for me. He's in ICU. Sometimes we're in emotional ICU, we don't have capacity. And remember, our spouse is also part of creation. It's part of the desserts of life. It cannot be our main meal. It cannot be our primary source. If we want to walk journeys of wholeness, our journey of wholeness has to start first with identifying what is the crucial need in me, and ultimately understanding the root source of that crucial need, which is a relationship with God.
Yes.
The more I grow my identity in Christ, the more I sit under the truth of His Word, knowing I'm loved, knowing He has a purpose and a plan for me, knowing my value is based on the work of Christ on the cross. When I understand who I am in Him, if my partner doesn't have the capacity to give me what I need, I'm not left with nothing. Because I still have my main meal, I still have my source. I know the truth about what God says about me. And remember, the enemy wants to turn what I do or what others do into my identity. So if my partner doesn't have capacity to give me what I need, the enemy is going to be going, you see, you're unlovable. You're too much. You're a failure. You're not good enough. Those are the words that are coming from the enemy, because he wants to turn what we do or others do into who we are.
Yes.
Versus what God says about us is based on the work of Christ. Who He says we are has got nothing to do with what I do. When Jesus was baptized and He came up out of the water, the Father says, "This is my Son, whom I love, with Him I'm well pleased." Jesus didn't earn that title. The Father bestowed it upon Him. It was a blessing given to Him based on the love from the source, the Father, onto the Son. And we receive that in same inheritance. I am loved because of what God says about me.
Yes.
I have a purpose because of what God has for me. I have value because of what God's done for me. That has got nothing to do with what happens in creation. And if my spouse doesn't have capacity, and I place my identity under the fountain, if I put this cup under a fountain, it's going to overflow. If my cup is a well, and that's all I have, I'm going to be possessive and manipulative over it. Sometimes our partners don't have capacity because they're empty.
Yes.
But if I stay under a fountain and I'm overflowing, then I have capacity to flow into their lives, even if they've got nothing to give me. That means we love according to how we're loved. And so, yeah, there are going to be times in our lives where maybe our partners don't have what we need. But that doesn't mean there's no hope for us, because our source should never be primarily them. They are more a conduit through which God can work. And if they can't do it, because their conduit is empty, we have the one who can give us what we need. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? I hope you really love this journey that we had with Madz. And if you haven't watched any of the other videos, please go back, follow the links, go watch it, because this is it's a 4-part process that you've got to work through each and every video to get a little bit closer to that wholeness and to understand that you can be the victor in your own story, that the story you tell yourself is based on your Creator, to going for your thirst to your Creator and not creation. And this is going to change your life. So go watch the videos again, get a hold of Madz, get a hold of the wholeness course, and know that you matter enough to get this done, and that your marriage matters enough. Leave an amazing legacy, Madz. Thanks so much. Wow, what a journey. I've learned so much through this whole process. It's definitely had a massive impact on my life.
Awesome.
So I want to honor you for that, and just thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. It's been such a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We see you in the next video.